Hey guys, it's Amber, your everyday girl, and I am here today to do finally a nail tutorial. So I have my little beat up hand here, and as you can see on some of them, I already have the putty that I use that instead of glue to connect my nail tips. That way it doesn't ruin the rubber like I learned on some of these other nails. You can see I've learned my lesson. So I wanted to show you guys that. So I have half tips. I don't have complete tips. As you can see, they're rounded on the end instead of curved this way. These work real good with the fake hand because you can slip this part underneath the cuticle part. So you can just slip that under there. And on these hands, it only goes a tiny bit. You can buy other ones that it goes a lot further in. But this is, to be honest, a cheaper hand. So, and I'm using... these are, I believe, McCart tips, and this is a number 6 that I'm using on these. And they fit pretty well. And this hand works pretty well. It works well enough. It's not the best hand in the world. I don't remember what the brand is, to be honest with you, and it's not on it. So you want to make sure you stick these pretty well so that while you're doing your acrylic, it doesn't move. And we're going to be doing acrylic baby boomers. So just so you guys can see, this is what the putty looks like. It's out of the package, obviously. You can get it at like any hardware store. Or probably the craft store as well, I would imagine. So we're going to be doing those. So I have my baby pink here, you can see, and my white. This is actually a mix that I made, so I can't really tell you what it probably is a mixture of Mia Secret and of acrylic, or no lift nails, and some dip powder, because I use dip powder sometimes to color my acrylic if I decide to do so. So you can also do it this way. Make a little ball, put it on the underside, kind of squeeze it in there, and then just slide it in. So you just slide it in like that. Press it down nice and hard. So, and then for our pinky, we have to do something a little smaller. I'm gonna do a 7 for that. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy. You guys know I have bad allergies. My subscribers know that. So, excuse me on that. I know I sound a little bit like a monster. So I'm just pressing these on. Slide that. Oh, and even this 7 is actually too big. So we're gonna. And the best thing is, like, this putty is very reusable. You can use it over and over again. As long as it doesn't get like dirt or filth or lint and stuff in it, it's kind of just like gum. And it continues to work. here. So I think this is a 9. Yeah, this is a 9, a number 9. This one was, there we go. That pinky is always kind of hard because it's small. So we got them in, and it's actually better because it stays nice and tight. And so our thumb will need a bigger one. We're gonna try number 3. That seems to fit pretty well. Okay, so we got our nails all in, and I'm sorry it does have nail polish on there. I just haven't had a chance to remove it, so it's kind of a mess, the hand, but it does its purpose, believe that. So we're going to get rid of this, and I could show you what I did for practice. This is what we're going to be kind of doing. This one was my second try, obviously. It looks a little better than this one. So we're just going to be doing a kind of a pink fade to white kind of baby boomer type deal. So you want to make sure you have, number 1, your brush. Now my brush, I decided to crimp my brush. You can see like in the reflection a little bit there how it's crimped. I just took like some pliers and squeezed it so I could get a more of a flat surface. That's up to you. If you like it round like this more, then keep it that way. You know, it's up to what works for you. So I kind of like it this way, so that works for me. This is by Pana. That's the brushes that I use. I like them a lot. They work great, and they're usually between $20 and $30 with shipping and stuff. So you can get them on Amazon or Etsy. So I'm also using Mia Secret Mortimer, or monomer, not Mortimer, that's for masonry. Excuse that. So we're dipping in, make sure we clean off our brush, and we're going to start with the white. We're just going to gather up a kind of a square bead. That's why I like it this shape on the end here. And this white, it's kind of like doughy, but it still works really well. So we just want to first pat it into the end. Make sure that the end of the nail is covered first. And then we're going to just brush it back. Sweep it back and thin it out as we go. We want it, the thinner the better at the end. So you can use the upper part of your brush to get that flatness more. And excuse me, there are apparently a few sparkles left in here from my last video. So you want to press with the upper part of your brush, and you see how that smooths that out better. So we're going to just smooth that out. And I don't know if you guys can tell on the tip. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's a little opaque, I guess is the word I want to use. So I'm going to put a little bit more on the tip. A little more white. I'm just going to use the corner of my brush like this, because I don't need that whole width. I just need a little bit. So now I'm going to go to my pink. And I'm going to do the same, as get a nice square kind of bead. And I'm going to put this near the cuticle. Wipe off my brush. Now first I'm going to focus on pushing it towards the cuticle. So you guys can see this. And you don't want it to touch the cuticle, but you want it to get as close as possible. Now it doesn't matter so much on the fake hand, but... And then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the white and brush this forward. And cover the whole nail with it. And it's almost opaque. And it's a little bit more of a vibrant pink than what's usually used, but I like that, so I wanted to use that. So we get a nice fade there. And there's maybe a little more white than I would like, so we're gonna add a little bit more pink. Excuse me, from the monomer, my allergies are acting up. So we're gonna just take another square shaped, and this is up to you if you're using, you know, keeping your brush round shaped, then you're gonna be picking up round beads, then that works for you, then that's fine. You don't have to do it, you know, with the square. It's just that's how it works with if you're gonna have your brush this shape. Okay, so that one turned out pretty good, I think, in my opinion. So we're gonna move on to our next one, our pointer finger here. Oh, and I forget, you guys can't see the recording sign, so you can see that even if I can't. Okay, so we're going to start with the white again. And wipe off your brush. So since this is already to the end, we can just start brushing it back. And this is how you would do an ombre with any color. Like if you were gonna say do colored tips, you would just do the color first and then do the white at the end, or you know, by the cuticle. So we still have a little opaque spot, so I'm gonna add a little more white. So we're brushing it back. I'm sorry for the little speckles that I've been getting from having glitter before. I didn't realize it was still stuck in my brush. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the pink. So yeah, you can take clear acrylic and add dip powder to it and make colored acrylic. And it's just as, and the great thing about it is because normally colored acrylic isn't very sturdy, but this is because it's made with clear acrylic. So we're brushing forward. I just swept it kind of across the cuticle and then brushed it forward. So you can make your own acrylic colors that way, and they don't necessarily need to be clear capped because you can use them to make structure because they're made out of clear. So I found that that seems to work a little better. And when it comes to, I always just swipe off my brush twice from the monomer, and then when I dip it in, I just kind of feel it. When I feel like there's enough on there, it's hard to explain really. That's just when I pull out the brush. And it took me a long time, believe me, to get the ratio right. I had a lot of brushes got ruined, a lot of tantrums, to say the least. I got really frustrated, but once you get it, you can just feel it, and that's the best way I can say it. So, and you just want to make sure that your side walls are nice and with the shape of the tip. This is kind of a different type shape, so we'll probably just file this into like a coffin type shape. So we're placing this on by the cuticle. And see, the pink still made with the dip powder comes out really nice. It's it doesn't harden too fast. And it just, I mean, it comes off the brush nicely. Sorry if I'm lifting that up out of view. So I'm just brushing that. You can see that. Let me turn that this way so you can see that a little bit. I have a little more pink on this one, so I think I'm going to add a little more pink to this one. So I'm going to put it up a little higher. And I didn't wipe off my brush because I wanted to keep it nice and wet so that this would spread nicely. So we have a little spot on the side here that I want to cover up with some pink. Alright, so we got those fingers done, so we're moving on to our ring fingers. We want to straighten that out a little bit here. It's a little crooked. I know I'm silly and wacky, but hopefully you guys like that and that makes this fun for you. Alright, so we're just doing the white on the tip. And believe me, this isn't easy doing it this angle, but I want you guys to be able to see it well. Just sweeping that up. And I got that all over the cuticle, and that is not what you are supposed to do. There we go. Wipe that off. Ignore that. You are not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have it flood the cuticle like that. So that was just an accident. We need a little bit more white. So that it's not opaque. Do the pink right here by the cuticle. You want to push it close, but not to touch the cuticle. And then sweep it forward. And normally you would prep your nail, but obviously you don't have to prep the fake hand because there's no natural nail. So it's not quite even, so I'm going to even it out a little bit. There we go, that evens that out a little more. Sorry, needs a little bit more to cover up that white. So there we go, that's a little more even. Now it doesn't have to be perfectly even. That's kind of the way the fade works, you know what I mean? So don't worry if yours is not completely even. It doesn't have to be, you know, it doesn't need to be perfect. That's kind of the point, is to have it not be perfect. And I always go kind of sideways on the pinky because I have my brush the way I do. Making sure my side walls are nice and moving a little bit. Are nice and smooth. And if you start to get close to the cuticle, you just sweep back the other way. And if there's any extra left, you'll have it at the tip and you can just take it right off without a problem. So again, we just push this close to the cuticle without touching. And then sweep it up. You want to make sure your tip is nice and smooth. And there you go. And we have our baby boomer nails, which honestly don't really need much filing. We have a little hair stuck in there, but they don't really seem to need much filing. They're pretty much the shape. Maybe this one a little bit, but I'm still waiting for, they're still not quite dry. But there you go, guys, and that is how you do baby boomer nails with acrylic. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned something and you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.